What's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about Kodak T-Max. T-Max is, of course, a black and white film produced by the Eastman Kodak Company out of Rochester, New York. In terms of availability, it's probably one of the easiest film stocks to get if you just go to your local camera store and see what they've got on the shelf. That being said, it can be a strangely polarizing film. When I was in Tempe Camera in Arizona on vacation a couple of years ago, the salesperson at the store just regaled me with how much he hated T-Max, and I said, why? I've had some pretty good luck with it, and he said it just comes down to the grain. So T-Max is a T-grain or tabular grain film, and you can get really into kind of the complexities of what that means, but essentially, if you boil it down, it means that it's going to be a much higher resolution film than traditional black and white film stocks, and it's also going to have a much more, regimented, ordered appearance to the grain. So this can be both bad and good. The positive of that is that you get crisper, sharper, higher resolution images. The downside is if you're shooting film with the intention of having it look like film, you're going to get less of that appearance out of T-Max or other T-grain films, especially when you're shooting, higher resolution formats like medium formats. T-Max is available in a 100 speed and a 400 speed. It used to be available in a 3200, but that was discontinued by Kodak in 2012. The current version of the 400 speed actually was introduced in 2007, so it's pretty new as far as film stocks go. Personally, I really like T-Max. I've had really good results with it. It's got a, by the standards of black and white film, it has a pretty narrow exposure latitude, but it has this really contrasty, crunchy, dramatic look to it that I think can create some really cool images. Some of my favorite photos that I've ever taken, including the image that I would say is my favorite photo I've ever taken, were on T-Max 400. So what I'd like to do at this point, as is par for the course with these videos, is show you some photographs that I've taken with T-Max, and you can kind of get an idea of what the film looks like, how it behaves, and if it's something that you'd be interested in shooting. I think black and white film can be pretty subjective. I think some people are going to really like this look. It's much cleaner, much higher resolution, much sharper, and some people are going to prefer the kind of grainier, grittier look of something like Tri-X or HP5. And I don't necessarily think there's a wrong or a right answer. I like them both. I've gotten really good results out of both types of film. That being said, when you nail the exposure with T-Max, which can be tricky because it is a much narrower exposure latitude on this film, but when you get it right, the results can be really beautiful. It has a super contrasty, sharp, crunchy, dramatic look to it. I think it has a very cinematic look. These photos were all taken on a mixture of 35mm cameras and I believe my Yashica Mat 124G, and I think it looks really good. I mean, you decide for yourself if it's a look you like. I don't think it looks like digital. I've heard that criticism before, and it's a little confusing because there's obviously still film grain in these photos. It's more orderly film grain than in something like Tri-X, but they're obviously still analog photos, and I think it's just beautiful. That contrast is stunning, and it creates these kind of sweeping cinematic images. And these last two photos coming up here, these are two photographs of my dad. I took these on the RB67, and these are two of my favorite photos I've ever taken. Specifically this last one here, which was taken without enough light, so the grain is super evident, but that contrast, the kind of cinematic look of it, the shadows, I think it's a really beautiful photo. This is probably my favorite photo I've ever taken, for better or for worse, but I love it, and T-Max will have always given me that. So yeah, Kodak T-Max. Have you shot this film before? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think of it. I really enjoyed putting this video together because I really do like this film stock, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, of course, like, comment, subscribe. Really quickly, I just want to say thank you to my two newest Patreon patrons. That's John Lee and Rascal on the Run. Thank you guys so much. You really do kind of help keep these videos coming. And if you have any other film stocks or cameras or anything like that you'd like me to take a look at in a future video, don't hesitate to shoot me a message, leave a comment down below. I always appreciate hearing from you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in about a week.